Good evening, I'm Sam Dick. Perhaps no college basketball program has been more written about, more talked about, or certainly more dissected by its own fans and others than the University of Kentucky men's basketball program. Winners of 8 national championships and led by Hall of Fame coach John Calipari. Now, for 3 days, we were given special access to the team as they prepared to go on the road, and we joined them on the road for a tough SEC game in Starkville, Mississippi. And what you're about to see and hear are some very special moments with the coach and his players on the road. For example, the night before the game, we were allowed inside Coach Calipari's hotel room where he gave the team a history lesson. You're going to have a front row seat to the intense film sessions, the strategy that the team went through on the road, and we're even going to take you inside the huddle during the game. When you travel with 50-plus people on a trip like this, there are bound to be some twists and turns and some surprises, and there were. So, for the next hour, sit back and enjoy going on the road with the Kentucky Wildcats.
Passes out to Hagan. He'll take the three and hit it from the top of the key.
Whoever he throws it to now is trying to run downhill.
We want him going right.
That's what the game was. It was pick and roll, throw it, shoot it.
Just rebound, block shots, play with unbelievable energy.
I think everybody is trying to, get better on the defensive end.
So when they get off the bus, they walk in, drop their stuff, get dressed, and then go out to start warming up.
PJ, Reed, EJ, Nick, we need you guys to be really good at catching the ball first.
Travis, here comes the double team. Nice pass underneath with a dunk to Washington. Beautifully played by Reed Travis.
That was a strong double team.
Down the arc, left side, pulls the trigger, hits.
Because you want that ball. He's working to rebound. You work to rebound like him. All right, that's their run. All right.
Trying to hand it back to Hero. He can't. 7 to shoot. Washington has the ball knocked away. Hero chases it down. 3 to shoot. Launches a 3. Bullseye!
But to go on the road and that team make that run, and you do enough to win the game, the shoot around helped us win the game because it got us through what? The first half.
Hey, good job, fellas. They found me on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's going to be a rainy couple of days here in Kentucky, but at least it is very warm. And a big win for the Cats last night, 9 in a row now after they dispatched South Carolina.
UK has been lights out defensively and made South Carolina look like a hand puppet.
I've got to keep these guys in the right frame of mind, which is, I told them today, my job now is hungry yet humble.
I know how lucky I am to have the job I have. People would line up around the block to do this for sure.
51 hours from tip-off. At the Joe Kraft Center, UK equipment manager Mark Evans begins packing.
We call them their game bags, and they have their specific number on it.
Up to 15 bags of warm-up gear, uniforms, and shoes.
So like this is a custom shoe bag that we carry all their shoes in. And they typically, each player has minimum 2, sometimes 3 pair of shoes in case they have a blowout.
Do you ever have nightmares of forgetting something?
There's definitely the panic of when you're going to the airport and when we're going to Des Moines or somewhere like that, and you're like, well, I hope I got everything, because if we don't, there's a rule of thumb is as long as you've got uniforms and shoes, you can still play a game.
Evans is following in the legendary footsteps of Bill Kitely, equipment manager for 48 years at UK, known as Mr. Wildcat.
Anytime people say that, oh, you're the next Mr. Kitely, I said, no, I'm just trying not to mess up too bad.
Evans is 10 years into the job and has developed a close relationship with Coach Calipari. Both came to UK 10 years ago from Memphis. Part of their road game routine includes a coffee stop together.
Dunkin' Donuts, always. No other coffee. So if there's not a Dunkin' Donuts, he says, don't get him coffee.
Black or cream?
1 cream, 1 Splenda. So now everybody knows Coach Cal's order.
Their tight relationship goes way beyond coffee. He and Coach are both Catholic. On the road, Calipari and Evans often drive together to church for an early mass or prayer.
So this is family to you?
La Familia, that's what Cal always says. So, yep. Managers, players, coaches, try to keep it tight-knit at UK.
All teams are different, Sam, but, whatever you do, you try to have a rhythm.
of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
42 and a half hours from tip-off in Coach Calipari's office, and he's stressing why routine is so important to his players on the road.
So when they go on the road, they can relax. There's no anxiety of when and what. They know exactly when you're waking up, depending on game time, when you're shooting around, depending on game time. We always try to leave the day before the game after class so they don't miss class. So we travel later that day and we get back right after the game, charter, and so you don't miss as much class as everybody thinks these kids miss. Our kids don't anyway.
Any superstitions on the road? Things that, man, this is the way I want them.
My family, raisins in oatmeal are like the ultimate, you're losing the game. So there's like no, you don't put, we have like a 30-game win streak, 50-game win streak at UMass. And I walk into the team meal at breakfast, there are raisins in the oatmeal. I look in, are you kidding me? I grab the bowl and I throw it against the wall. Who is responsible? Now, naturally, we played George Washington at home, and we lose. I knew we were going to lose. I knew before the game we were going to lose. You had raisins in the oatmeal. Not only did I got thrown out for telling the official, isn't that a walk? Come on, boom, technical. You just called a technical for that? Boom, technical. Threw me out of the game. Raisins in the oatmeal. So, last game, Brad walks into the meal room. There are raisins. They're not in the oatmeal. Brad went in, didn't tell me, threw the bowl, the raisins in the trash because he knew. You don't put raisins in the oatmeal. And I just went after Chris Willard. Why would there be raisins on the table when you know we're trying to win a basketball game? But that would be the one.
You know, each guy on the team has different things that he tells us to do.
It's going to be obviously a sold-out arena.
All right, let's get warmed up. We're going to do individuals first.
A busy 42 hours ahead, with one last practice at home, a change in travel plans, and facing a desperate team on the road.
My job is to steady the ship and not panic. When everybody's panicking, we're fine.
Friday, the day before the Mississippi State game. It begins with classes for the players and then an 11:30 appointment with the media at the Joe Kraft Center. It's 25 and a half hours from tip-off in Starkville.
Cal has said over and over that he stays on you about the same things. What are those things?
You know, each guy on the team has different things that he tells us to do. For me personally, he tells me just to rebound, block shots, play with energy.
Sophomore Nick Richards
Not really.
and freshman Ashton Hagans answer reporter questions for about 10 minutes.
How much buy-in do you think there is on the team with you on defense, playing defense?
You know, I bring intensity on defense, but I wouldn't say that it's just me. I think everybody is trying to, you know, get better on the defensive end.
Assistant coach Tony Barbee handles questions on UK's opponent. His answer will prove to be right on target.
It's going to be desperate. I mean, they're as talented and as big and as physical and talented on the perimeter as any team in the league. It's going to be obviously a sold-out arena like we face everywhere, and our guys are getting used to playing in those kind of environments on the road. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Just so you know. All right, let's get warmed up. We're going to do individuals first.
Together.
Shoot it, Kelvin.
You're not going in there to draw. You're going in to score a basket.
Noon, last practice at home before hitting the road.
I keep telling you guys, if you miss a shot, your next thought should be, I'm shooting it straight. That what? Man, I can't, and it's about, I gotta hear that after the game, and I the next one, I only got 9, I got versus, I'm shooting it straight. Wow, which one would lead you to make a shot? Shooting it straight. This ball's going straight.
Coach Calipari leads the practice. He is literally hands-on.
And the only way he doesn't have it, if you twice and don't get out because your man can stay. So we're making it so that you're screen him, but get out. So that if your man stays, he's wide open and you're open.
The Wildcats practice floor is surrounded by pictures of former UK players in the NBA and championship banners. Coach Cal's UK teams have won a lot of games with so-called one-and-dones, freshmen who move on to the NBA.
The NBA is using a new term to evaluate players. You remember it used to be positionless, but now they're using the term feel. You think I gotta be Steph Curry? No, you don't. You don't. You just need to be a threat that you gotta be guarded. They love length, and then the third thing is feel. You have a feel.
This year's team has embraced defensive intensity.
They have a earned swagger. What I mean is they're in this gym all the time. They've earned the right to feel good about themselves. They've earned the right to have self-confidence. Self-confidence is that you work so hard that you spend the time and then you perform in games, demonstrated performance. You just built your own confidence. It's not me saying you're great or me getting on a guy. If a guy has great confidence and you get on him, he's like, I got you, I'm good.
Kentucky basketball, there's nothing like it. It's just an experience that doesn't go away.
Former UK players have an open invitation to watch practice. Al Robinson is a regular at practice. He played for Adolph Rupp in the late 1950s and has fond memories of the welcome they received on road games in Starkville.
And the bus would get there before it would even stop on campus. There'd be sometimes 200 or 300 students. Every one of them would have a cowbell. They'd be ringing it like crazy. And then a bunch of them would get on one side of the bus, one on, and they got the bus rocking before it even stopped.
They did that to
you
guys?
And then, of course, the police would run them off and all that. But
how did Coach Rupp deal with that?
Well, he'd get mad. He'd really get mad.
As practice is wrapping up, 10 student managers are finishing up loading bags and cases full of equipment onto the bus. A separate truck loaded with gear will also head to the airport. In all, 53 people are in the UK group headed to Starkville, including a trainer, basketball video coordinator, 2 police officers for security, the team doctor, media relations, the radio broadcast team, and 2 UK donors. A chartered plane is scheduled to leave at 3:30. The plan is to get the team to Starkville in time to check into the hotel and then head to Humphrey Coliseum for a shoot-around before dinner. Coach Calipari wants his players comfortable with the routine and focused.
Stay in the moment. The results will take care of themselves. And then my job is to steady the ship and not panic. When everybody's panicking, we're fine. And I said after Alabama, we lost. I walked in and I said, I'm not moving. I love this team. I'm not budging one bit. I love this team.
But a sudden change in travel plans shakes up the schedule for everyone.
They got split up. 1, 2, 3.
Friday, 2:30. Normally this bus is filled with players, coaches, and some support staff. Not this afternoon. On the way to the airport, we learned the chartered plane carrying 53 people on this road trip will not be taking off on time. Most of the players only are coming first. We're at TAC Air. We were supposed to take off in a chartered plane at 3:30. It's now about 10 minutes of 3. That's according to the master plan when we were supposed to take off. We've now found out that the chartered plane has mechanical issues. They're going to have to bring in a new plane, which means we could be delayed 2 or 3 hours getting to Starkville, which of course is going to change everything in terms of the walkthrough at the Coliseum, dinner, you name it. This is what happens sometimes when you're on the road.
We're going to try to put the guys on smaller planes in about an hour.
Will they come through here?
Yeah.
We're going to end up having to leave staff and maybe my son and Zan back, yeah. Wow. So we just gotta, get down. It's a noon game. If it was like a 7 o'clock, I could care less.
It's now 4:15. 45 minutes past the scheduled takeoff. The noon tip-off, Central Standard Time, puts a real time crunch on the schedule. UK scrambles to find 2 small planes to take the players and coaches to Starkville.
They got split up. 1, 2, 3.
Everyone else, including UK staff, will have to wait for a larger chartered plane. It's about a 90-minute flight to Starkville, but we do gain an hour going to Central Standard Time. 90 minutes late, the UK team and Coach Cal take off in 2 small planes. They'll try to squeeze in a shoot-around at Humphrey Coliseum. It will delay other things planned for Friday night.
We will get to a town. Because my teams are always brand new, I got a new team every year, I want them to see the arena the night before. So when we go in the next day for the shoot-around, there's no what you already looked around. Now we're getting in there, we're focused on the court, and we go.
Good news, the larger chartered plane is ready to go sooner than expected, and we're soon on the way to Starkville. We may be able to catch up with the team before it's lights out at the hotel. Another bonus, this plane has plenty of legroom.
We're very excited.
Among our entourage, UK invited 2 donors to join the trip. Brian and Brandy Holly are longtime Wildcat fans from Mount Sterling.
I feel so fortunate to have this opportunity. I didn't really understand the magnitude of it before we got here. I thought it was going to be an entire trip with lots of Cats fans. So when we got there, I was a little stunned to see that it was just us. So such a blessing and just a neat experience to be here with the players and the coaches and all the media. So it's a pretty awesome experience, definitely once in a lifetime.
6 shots for Kentucky. They've made.
Tom Leach is the award-winning play-by-play radio voice of the Kentucky Wildcats in his 18th year with the basketball team. He's witnessed the sellouts and wild celebrations when UK comes to town.
Earlier this year, Kentucky went to Alabama and was upset, and after the game, it was a huge celebration, as you might expect, but even more so in the Alabama locker room, to the point that Cal took the video that Alabama put out and showed it to his team to show them what it meant when you beat Kentucky when you haven't done it in a long time. Well, it's been a longer time for Mississippi State than it was for Alabama, so that probably gives you an idea of what the environment will be at the home.
His radio partner, Mike Pratt, has firsthand experience facing vocal sellout crowds on the road. He played for Coach Adolph Rupp.
I don't think Coach Rupp ever talked about it, except that everybody would be fired up for us, as he put it. But if you play long enough and you learn to block all those things out. So you hear him every now and then. There's a loud voice or somebody stands up and flips you off. You notice that, but you don't stay with it. Just kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
As the lights of Starkville come into view, it's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We are just 16 hours from tip-off. But there's still plenty for the coaches and players to do.
There's your high hands, and you see what they're looking to do. Go back, show it again. We talked about this earlier. You know your geography on the floor. If you can get under that, meet them underneath.
You turn sideways, you really turn
And before he hits the sack, Coach Calipari talks about how this may not be the only game this year with a noon tip-off.
When might you play in the NCAA tournament? We may play at noon. And let me say how this works. If they know we don't play well at noon, we will play every game at noon, and they'll switch the Final Four to noon. Believe me.
Mississippi State is one of the most talented teams in this conference, and they haven't had a lot of success against us. And they want to beat us. They want to prove who they are, and what great way to showing that in knocking off a top 5 team in Kentucky. We got to walk in that door and know that tomorrow at 12 o'clock for 40 minutes we're going to play hard, we're going to play physical, we're going to play toughness, and we're going to play with great energy. And our mindset has to start tonight in that film session of knowing this team could beat us.
We missing anybody?
You're missing one. 1, 2, 3.
Friday night, after finishing dinner, the UK players meet in Coach Calipari's hotel room where he has on the movie Secretariat.
That Secretariat now taking the lead. He's got it by about a length and a half.
So you don't know what the checkerboard, they put the checkerboard on the stuff, you know what that's about? Checkerboard? Any of you guys? Never heard of it, huh? Have you ever heard of a horse named Secretariat? Like before you were born, but...
Ain't that a movie?
It is a movie, it's on Channel 23. But Triple Crown went by like 30 lengths.
He's into the stretch. Secretariat leads his field by 8.
Like, demoralized. When the horse walked in, it was so big, the other horse was like, who's that? And so they were so dominant that Kentucky basketball dominance, they kind of did it with the checkerboard. So that's where it came from. So a little history today. Tomorrow, when we go through stuff in the shoot around, we'll go whip, but you also need to twirl some of that, because what they're doing now, because they're not shooting as many threes, they're trying to run downhill. It is a dribble, handoff, and the third guy's trying to do what? Just run downhill. Right, so tomorrow, you're going to start. We're having this meeting because the other 3 of you got to go down and eat. And then you're going to go, they're going to meet and show you the tape. What am I doing? I'm going to bed. All right? We're going to start waking you up around 7. Oh yeah, but it's 8 o'clock your time. It's nothing crazy. And then we're going to go over and we're going to go, I got a practice thing, a shoot around for about 30 minutes. Get right back in. We're over back here in 7-8 minutes. You'll have a pregame about 8:30. Get great sleep tonight. I got NyQuil if anybody else needs it. Over there, knock somebody out. Sleep tonight. Get up early tomorrow. Grab a little bagel. Okay? All right. You guys have been great. Coach, you got him, and let him go to bed. Secretariat's on Channel 23.
Guys, we should live in this.
UK's basketball video coordinator Tim Asher is ready with game clips that the coaches want to use.
Stay back, and as that guard is coming downhill, stay between him and the basket. The shot that they do not want to take, they don't want to shoot floaters, they don't want to shoot pull-ups, they want to get even with our bigs like they did with you, Nick, jump into your chest and try to lay or go get a clean layup. It's what they want. We got to take those away. And then we did a great job, you'll see on this tape, when our guards got screened and the guard came down on our bigs did a great job for the most part of staying in front.
Just as you're watching here, they're going to try to weave it, and ultimately it becomes that ball screen. We talked about if we can make that difficult, that's what we want. You know your geography on the floor. If you can get under that, meet him underneath.
Rewind it. Look at Nick move his feet. Fight for position, Nick. Great job. Feet are moving. Can't guard it, man. I think we should be doing more of this for you, PJ, because that defender can't move his feet on the perimeter. Whoever that is. And doesn't mean you're getting a layup. It could end up being a loop for Tyler.
But I think the biggest thing is just our attention to detail. And I think that comes from the players and guys stepping up more and really just putting more effort into practice, seeing how it translates in the game. I feel like at the start of the season, coaches were really on us about, guys, we need to pay more attention to detail. We can't be as sloppy. We got to tighten things up, because in the game that's going to pay off, and that's when you're going to see those improvements. And I think there's a real switch after a couple games where we started coming to practice just hungry. We wanted to get better. We started to see that we were defending teams a lot better.
Building relationships between player and coaches starts during recruitment and continues on the practice floor and during film study.
Run a ball screen. This guy right here is driving.
What's this guy meant to you?
Everything.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big reason why I came here. As far as just guys that I've talked to, is how they got them ready for the next level and just becoming a man and a better basketball player. So I was drawn to him immediately. It's been a great experience so far. He's helped me out throughout the way.
I think he's bigger than you.
You think he's bigger than me?
Yeah, he looks pretty big.
A little bit.
Well, I'm trying to lean out, so I hope so.
Well, I don't mean in the bad way. I mean, he's just taller. You know?
I can't put into words exactly what it means to have a young kid trust you and their families to trust you to be able to help them reach their goals and their dreams. It's touching. And so my whole day and night is filled with how do I help this kid? And some of it's individual work. Some of it is just talking to them. But it's a blessing for me personally, as much as it is for them. And I know there have been a lot of players that came through this program that really have a love for me. But more than that, my feelings for them, because they didn't have to trust Kentucky. They didn't have to trust Kenny Payne.
While many college students are just starting their Friday night, in Starkville at 10 o'clock, all players are in their rooms and it's lights out. They do, though, get to enjoy one college student staple, a late-night snack of pizza. Tip-off is 14 hours away.
Hey, man, yeah, it's game day, man. We out here.
And it's not the result, it's how we play and are we getting better. The result will take care of itself. And if it doesn't, we march on to the next game.
A little more than 5 hours from tip-off, and at the team hotel, UK's players are quietly making their way to the bus.
Hey, man, yeah, it's game day, man. We out here.
For a quick drive over to Humphrey Coliseum. Calipari and his coaches have reminded the players many times they face a dangerous team at noon.
They're a total desperate. They have to have this game now. They just lost to LSU. You don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you the result. All I can do is do the best job I can to prepare these kids, get them in the right frame of mind. They're there. Let's play the game. Let's see what happens.
The UK coaches have taught the players to use the road game atmosphere to their advantage.
So you understand going in, every game you play on the road, people want to see you. Now, they want to see you lose, but they want to see you. And take pride in that. And also, it should inspire you. Like, all right, if you really want to see me, let me show you what I look like at my best.
Reed Travis, a graduate transfer, played several years at Stanford, but the road games for UK are a different experience.
The crowds, the atmosphere, when you're at Kentucky, every game you play against somebody in their home arena is like the Super Bowl, it feels like. A lot of fans come out, they want to see you lose, they want to see their home team beat you. So I say that's the biggest adjustment, is that every game we go play, it's a sold-out arena.
No time to waste. Managers hand out shoes to each player. For 30 minutes, UK has the Mississippi State court to themselves.
It's a kickback. If you can get in, go. Coach said it last night. Reed did the best job of making this guy, he never got sideways. So here came the guy, coming, and he just went like that. We had too many other guys go this way, and then when he gets to the left hand, he's scoring on Nick. He will score on a 7-footer, I don't care. But if you're in front of him, he doesn't score.
At the same time UK is going through their shoot-around, equipment manager Mark Evans and his student managers are setting up 2 locker rooms. Remember, routine on the road is important.
Some teams change at the hotels. Cal's never done that, so we always just set at the arena, and then everybody gets there, and it's all ready, waiting for them.
In the other visitor dressing room, Coach Calipari's dry erase board is up with a stash of markers and clipboards. Evans has learned to come prepared with his manager's bag.
Practice pennies, soap, clipboards, air freshener, a PSI reader, anything you can think of that could come up on the road. A door stop for our locker room door. We just toss it all in here. And it's kind of like a Mod Podge bag, anything you can think of. Tide to go, pen, you name it.
And that sometimes becomes a straight drive because this guy's coming here, and when I throw it, he can't get back to help.
They haven't had breakfast yet, but Calipari will later credit this shoot-around as crucial. Back on the floor, a half-court shot by each player always finishes up the practice. Coach Calipari's son, Brad, will be the one to hit it. About 4 hours from tip-off, the team is back at the hotel for breakfast.
Number 5.
We didn't notice any raisins.
And then we got to keep him off the glass as an energy guy. We can't allow him to come in the game off the bench with energy, get deflections, offensive rebounds, hustle baskets in this game today.
The mood this morning in the room is quieter. The players focused, watching their opponent on the big screen.
Guards, be ready to help on those. Jump to the ball.
On the road, Coach Calipari doesn't always eat with the players or do film study with them. He wants to give them some space.
I stay away from the team breakfast. I stay away from the team meal. They don't need to hear my voice anymore. The night before I may. Like the night before, if there's a team meal, I may join the team meal. But the next day, game day, they'll see me at shoot-around, and they'll see me on the bus going to the game. The rest of the time, they're either resting or staff. They hear me enough, and I'm involved enough I want them to relax at a breakfast, relax at the pregame, and focus and not have any thoughts of, am I making him happy or is he okay? How does he look? You know, people ask me, how you feel? I said, it doesn't matter how I feel. It's how they feel. If they feel good, we'll be fine. And I tell these kids all the time, when you beat a team and they played their best, there's nothing better than that. We can't play any better than this, and we won on the road. And that's what you're looking for.
90 minutes from tip-off, and the hump, as they call it, will be rocked.
When people say Kentucky down here, what resonance does it have dealing with basketball?
Oh, I mean, it's just they've won more games than anyone. You know, I mean, they're always ranked nationally. They're always the team everybody's chasing in the SEC. I think it's like anywhere else in this league when you're talking.
Street, parking on the sidewalk, man, who cares?
This is another challenge. Noon game against a good opponent on national television in a sold-out arena. It's a challenge. It's going to be hard for our young guys.
Coach Calipari brings one of the youngest teams in the country into Starkville.
I've had teams last year's team. It was till February till I felt good about our shoot-arounds. Then I started feeling good about the shoot-arounds and the team started taking off. This team has engaged earlier. They've accepted roles earlier.
UK is on a win streak, building confidence and that earned swagger that Calipari has described. His younger players have won on the road in the SEC. This is the next test.
So I think we've had a great group of guys that are confident in what they do as players. Some guys may need to look in the crowd and have someone yell at them and get motivation off of that, and some guys may not even look at it. It's just another game. So I think it's one of those unique things where you kind of take your own approach to the game, whether that needs to hype you up or you need to kind of just stay calm with it. But
how do you deal with
great.
it?
How do I deal with it? I mean, I just try and take it as another game. I don't try and look for the outside deal with the fans yelling and things like that. I think it's cool that I get to play in front of crowds and arenas that are packed.
A sprinkling of UK fans are here, but Humphrey Coliseum is sold out to mostly Mississippi State fans. 10,500, and it's a whiteout.
You know, Kentucky's everyone's Super Bowl, right? Right? I mean, so yeah, sure they get up for Kentucky. They know the name just like any other brand name in college basketball.
Coach Calipari is trying something different for this noon tip-off.
We didn't do the shoot around the last 2 times we played those noon games. Didn't work out so well. Both games I thought we got outplayed, out hustled, out toughed. The shoot around was short. It was probably 15 minutes shorter than normal, but we just got them up to say, let's, we'll have the rest of the day to sleep and relax. Let's get up and get ready for a ball game. The other reason is it's 8 noon here, but it's 1 o'clock our body time.
Yeah.
So I looked at a 7:30 mean and 8:30, which we should be able to do it. Don't know if it's going to help. We will see.
45 minutes to tip-off, the radio voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach, tapes the pregame interview with Coach Calipari in a visitor locker room.
They could come and get hot as heck and you go home with an L. Our thing is, how are we playing? Are we getting better? Are we more in tune? Are we more engaged? Are we talking more? Is our weak side defense better? Is our bench, everybody helping us play? And I'm more concerned with us than Mississippi State. I know how good they are. I know they're a good team, and I know they're a skilled team.
More Coach Cal when we come back. It's the UK Sports Network.
As the Coliseum begins to fill up, the UK coaches are driving home their game message one more time. It's 35 minutes to tip off.
Warm up?
Yeah, really good.
Guys, defense, conference play on the road, you know what's the key to it. You've made it what we are. Let's stay with that. Take pride in it. You guys have taken unbelievable pride in your defense. Physical and fast and talk early.
PJ, Reed, EJ, Nick, we need you guys to be really good at catching the ball first, which means your feet got to be moving. Spacing in offense. If you space the floor and do a great job at it, you're going to get any shot you want.
Rebound both ends. Enjoy the road together. Hold them to 40, plus 10 rebounds, 6 blocks, 21 more. You got a W.
Sure.
Good afternoon from the Hump, also known as the Humphrey Coliseum on the Mississippi State University campus in Starkville. I'm Tom Leach, along with the Wildcat Hall of Famer Mike Pratt.
Most of the coaches will come up to me and they'll say something like, every game you're like this. How do you do this? Like, I'm walking into an arena where the game before they had 5,000, our game that's sold out and people were intense, and the coach is like, every game you coach is this. I walk in here, I've been through it. Now, if you've never been through this and you haven't been like that's how you coach, every game is somewhat, you're in that desk underneath it in a fetal position quickly.
Just minutes from tip-off, Coach Calipari is about to find out if all the practices, the film study, and individual work are enough to earn a road win in the SEC. It's a mental game now as much as a physical one.
Self-confidence is that you work so hard that you spend the time and then you perform in games, demonstrated performance. You just built your own confidence. It's not me saying you're great or me getting on a guy. If a guy has great confidence and you get on him, he's like, I got you, I'm good. And you're not changing him. If a guy doesn't have great self-confidence because he doesn't work, he's trying to get over, he thinks this is going to be easy, he wants it handed to him, he's enabled by everybody around him, the minute anything happens, I say something, a fan, an official, they crumble. And so we're always talking about build your self-confidence. You have to do this.
Montgomery on the left baseline, back to quickly, drive, shot blocked by Perry.
In the heat of a close game,
Goes on the attack, pushes off quickly, step back three, good.
on the road, what's it like to be in the Wildcat huddle?
And now he's seeing if he can hit this. And if your leg comes in, he's throwing it to you. This man stays high.
Hey guys, the only thing go ahead. The only thing that's hurting us right now is when they go zipper, bring the other guard up, and the guard who gives it to him goes into the stack. We're twirling that from guard to guard, the baseline runner. When it's guard to guard and the other guard stacked with the big opposite, and he comes off, you twirl with that guard.
All right, everybody listen. Late clock now, I'm going to call butter. I want you to hear this. We're going to be going butter with the 5, okay?
But when you have the mentality I do, which is we're playing for March. We don't play to win a league championship. We don't play to win a league tournament championship.
Now enjoy the game.
17th meeting, Kentucky leads the series 96-20 here in Starkville. Kentucky in blue, white numerals and letters. Tap controlled by Mississippi State. They're in white with maroon letters and numerals.
They're coming together quicker. There's no phoniness.
Nice pass underneath with a dunk to Washington. Beautifully played by Reed Travis. With his back to Travis. Jump hook good.
The gym rats have dragged others into the gym.
Jay Washington. Top of the key three is good. Kentucky.
There's no fake bravado, fake swagger, unearned. The minute a raindrop hits, you crumble. You can't make a shot, can't make a free throw, can't make a play. Not on this team. Now, that doesn't mean we go to Mississippi State and win.
Top to Washington. Another three. Good. 2 in a row for PJ. He has all 8 for Kentucky. Here's Nick Weatherspoon driving and scoring off the right baseline.
He's working to rebound. You work to rebound like him.
The Senior Press Award.
I was.
Senior Division.
This is EJ.
You can visit
We're going to do curl. Okay? We're going to do curl. Back screen here. Okay? One will catch you. Okay, you're going like that.
Rebounded by Montgomery on the left baseline. Back to quickly. Drive. Shot blocked by Perry. And Holman rescues it for Mississippi State. Carter goes on the attack. Pushes off quickly. Step back three. Good. Nope. He was inside the arc. Higgins down the lane. Left side. Shovel pass for the dunk to Reed Travis. Down the lane. Cut off by Montgomery. Passes behind him to Holman. Drives in and scores. And he got fouled by E.J. Montgomery. Drives into the lane. Over to Baker on the right side. Fakes. Moves in. Dumps it down to Montgomery. Jump hook. Bounces around and drops in.
Ooh, that's a roll you might get in Lexington.
Yeah. Fakes, drives on Montgomery, scoops up a shot, good. Side now reverses it to Washington. Top of the key, open, but he drives into the paint, falls down, but he passes out to Higgins. He'll take the three and hit it from the top of the key. They left him wide open.
He's seeing if he can hit this. And if your leg comes in, he's throwing it to you. This man stays high.
Hey guys, go ahead. The only thing that's hurting us right now is when they go zipper, bring the other guard up, and the guard who gives it to him goes into the snap. We're twirling that from guard to guard, the baseline runner.
Derry Weatherspoon, crossover dribble, slides left, a three is good. Down the lane, wrap around feed for a dunk by Woodard. Dumps it into Washington. Turns with a right hand hook, good off the glass. Quindary Weatherspoon. Higgins down the lane to the rim, layup good. Higgins gets it to Johnson, curls into the paint, right hand leaner, good. Keldon Johnson off a pick, drives down the lane, bounces it over to his brother who lays it in.
Because he'll front you, and then you go out to screen. You don't come here and, no, the reason it worked is he was fronting you. And now PJ's man had to go. All right, that's their run. All right, didn't guard anybody. We scored enough, but they're scoring off of him every time.
Catch ball to come the length of the floor. TJ comes out beyond the arc to get it. Trying to hand it back to Hero. He can't. 7 to shoot. Washington has the ball knocked away. Hero chases it down. 3 to shoot. Launches a three. Bullseye!
And he may have been fouled by Q Witherspoon.
Gives it back to Nick Weatherspoon. Fakes, leans in, trying to draw the foul. Missed the shot. Rebound, Keldon Johnson. And Kentucky escapes with the win. 71-67.
UK wins on the road, but Coach Calipari is not satisfied.
Great road win, guys. It's hard for me to get upset, but I got to tell you the truth on this. We got a lot of guys, instead of understanding that we're trying to build our confidence, you're pressing for your individual performance again. You can't be that.
Well, I held him accountable after the game. I told him it's a great win. But believe me, I went right around the room. I said, if you want me to tell you everything is all good, it isn't.
PJ, you reverted back. That's who you were a year ago. Couldn't make a free throw, couldn't make one-footers, never would guard, have every excuse, no rebounds. How many rebounds did you end up with?
3.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be the best player in the country. That's my mind.
Right now, the good news, we get through this, get through a road game, get on the plane and go home, and tomorrow we start getting ready for LSU.
But to go on the road and that team make that run and you do enough to win the game?
At noon.
The shoot-around helped us win the game because it got us through what? The first half. That's what the shoot-around did. And then I knew they'd make a run. Come on, we're on the road.
And I went right down each guy, and not mean and screaming, cussing. I wasn't. You're here because you want me to keep it real. Well, this is real. I'll tell you what, guys, proud of you. Really am. Proud of you.
Hey, good job, fellas. Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The next game is just 75 hours away at home.
Coach Cal and I and Tony and Joel and Rhodes, we're in these kids' lives forever. And that's our job, is to help them.